Goodness, okay. All right, we are ready and excited to be here today. Welcome to week 6. Clinton and I were just talking before
It's crazy.
people jumped in that we are almost halfway through this course and halfway through with June, and summer is going to be halfway through before we want it to be, and we'll be back at it with school starting in August. Um,
Boo.
which,
Boo.
yes, sorry about that. Ruin the fun for everybody, but we're right in the middle of this course, and hopefully you're keeping your head above water. This course, as you've noticed, isn't as intensive as the last course was, but there is some work being done, and we are asking you to do things. There's some rigor involved, as we talked about also before we started recording this as well. I was at a conference this week for our administrators, and the keynote had this quote up. He's talking about attitude, among other things, and I thought it was really great quote. The part the third paragraph down. We cannot change the past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is plan on the one thing that we have, and that is our attitude. So yes, it is mid-June. It is 93 degrees outside, and we're sitting in front of our computers taking this class. Just make the most of it. Have a good attitude about it. Be happy, and look on the bright side. We are almost halfway through with this course. So
Here,
have a good
here.
attitude, not just with this course, but in everything. Um, it's 90% of life is how you react to your attitude. So it's a quote by Charles Swindoll right there. So jumping into this week's content, looking at chapter 5 in the book. It's entitled Using Tools to Support Connected Learning. And this chapter looks in more in depth at some of the tools to help educators in social bookmarking and connecting and collaborating, social networking, and extended learning opportunities. It just a few tools that it does go over. Before you jump into it, realize that three of the tools that the book mentions are no longer in existence. Delicious, Google Reader, and Wikispaces are no longer around. So when you get to those, you can read about what they used to do and what they used to entail, but no longer available to
Is
use.
Ning still
Um,
around? That was kind of
the Ning was still around from my research. Yes,
okay.
it was
That's
there.
good.
So, but there's a lot of tools out there. So those are just some that this chapter will look at. But there's you can search lots of things, and there's a lot. No, Twitter's just one for social bookmarking or for connecting, collaborating, and social networking. We'll get into a lot more. You can search a lot more, a lot of other tools for these things. You may have other tools that you like and that you enjoy using, and please share those with others in your on your website that you'll be creating. I'll talk about that in the next couple of slides. Feel free to share other tools that you found that you like that you use on your website. But yeah, that is the chapter. A couple of things from the chapter that I just want to point out that really stuck out to me. That when we become so enthralled with the tools, that we lose sight of learning. That we just want to use a tool because it's a fun, cool tool, or what's the purpose of using the tool for. But you need to keep in mind that learning should be what we're using all these tools and resources for the learning for the students, and they're not helpful unless we understand how the tools can best be used to improve learning. So don't use Kahoot every single day because kids like Kahoot, but really improving content and learning, and the kids really progressing from using whatever tool it is, not just a Kahoot. But so keep those things in mind from the tool with the tools that you are using and that you look into and that you want to use. That why you're using it and is it really helping the students learn. The chapter finishes off with reminding you to manage your online reputation and creating a positive digital footprint out there in internet land. Gives 5 suggestions. You can read more about what those are in the chapter. Number 4, be professional at all times. there are many, too many instances of teachers who have been unprofessional and have been reprimanded, have lost their jobs, have been in lawsuits and different things. So don't be those teachers who end up on the internet. So those are just a couple right there that I have used in other trainings I have done. I have used those references to those teachers there for things that they have done. Don't be those teachers. Just be professional when you're online, in your website, in your blogs, in your social media. Just be safe. And know that as an educator, we're kind of held at a higher standard as the more than the layperson out there in the social media world.
In the
Because
chat,
all
Mr. Covili says he's glad
yeah,
he's not on that list.
the who?
Mr. Covili, Jared says he's glad he's not on your list there.
Oh, not yet, Jared. So hopefully you don't end up on the list. So,
Not yet.
but these teachers they're all their own. What they posted, what they said, they weren't at school, weren't on school computers, their own personal social media site. Yet their standard of being an educator in education came back and they lost their jobs because of it. And like, oh well, it's my freedom of speech. There's lawsuits out there, and you can read into where our freedoms kind of end with those things. So just be careful. On the bottom there, more for I use this when I talk to students with digital footprints, but recruiters right now, HR people, almost 95% of them are checking online profiles before they hire somebody.
Absolutely.
And that is the world we're living in. And what type of footprint are we leaving? What type of footprint are we helping our kids leave, our students leave in the internet world? The last one there, and more than half of those recruiters hold spelling and grammar against candidates. So your text messaging lingo on your websites and your blogs, and that comes back to haunt candidates for jobs. So just a couple of things to keep in mind.
Brandon, I was just going to share a statistic that I found one time that says 92% of 2-year-olds have a digital footprint right now.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and of course, as we think about that this means it's not just your digital footprint, but you're creating a footprint even for your kids.
That's scary. That percentage is that high. So, any other comments or questions about the readings or anything here that you will read about in the chapter with digital footprints with the assignments? Let's talk about the assignments here right now. So the 3 assignments for this week: reading chapter 5. Just did a quick synopsis of that in the book. So go ahead and read into more detail about what's going on there, the tools that they are looking at. Again, feel free to search more tools, additional tools that you can use to use for those components that the chapter talks about. In the discussions, you're going to create a web page or a blog. Most have created one already. In the last course, you are asked to create a website already. So those who are coming from the 50-10 class and 50-20 class, you have your website created and pretty much already completed for this assignment. Just a few other things you need to add into that. Feel free to create a new one, create something different, try a new website creating site, a blogging site. Never blogged before, maybe create a blog. If you want to try these things, go ahead and try them out. There's no harm in trying them, and the chapter talks about that, the best way to learn these tools, to try them out. And on your website or blog, you're going to put information about yourself, your content information, what you do, where you teach, your resume. Include some work samples. So if there's some projects you have completed or anything from your work as far as additional websites, additional blogs, additional YouTube videos you've created, oh my goodness, my mind went blank. Some other things you have created within your classroom.
If you put Google Docs out there, remember to change the
Yes,
viewing
thank you.
rights so that anyone with the link can view them.
Thank you for that reminder.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
And once you have those things done, including your philosophy, put that in there somewhere on your page or your blog. You're going to do a screencasting presentation, going over your website or your blog, talking about it for others to see. And those are links right there to Screencast-O-Matic or Screencast-O-Fi. If you haven't used those are live links, take you right to the website, and you can find out more about those. And also through the instruction page for the discussions, it talks more about this assignment as well. And then for your paper you're writing this week, your 2-page paper, you're going to look at your community partnerships. There's the link there to the Future Ready Framework and Community Partnerships, a self-assessment for community partnership, and then you're going to address your two pages worth of those 5 elements. So whatever ones you can fit in 2 pages, focus on 1 or 2 or 3 of them. Again, don't feel like you have to address all 5 of those elements. Do what you're able to do and what you need to do, what you feel is most meaningful for you in this assignment with those elements. So as far as what's coming to do this week, those are your assignments. Any questions on those assignments or anything this week? Any burning things you want to get off your chest? You want to just let us know, or don't let us know and keep it burning? Okay. Question time.
Hey, Brandon, on the assignment, the paper, element 1, element 2, element 4, and element 5, they're just statements. Do you want us to just respond to the statements? Element 3 has some questions. The rest, the previous papers that we've written, you've had questions. There's been questions that we've been kind of responding to. But on this one, in element 1, element 2, and element 4, and element 5, there is no question regarding the element. So do you just want us to respond?
If you look at those self-assessments, the self-assessments do have questions, and that'll give you some guidance into what you can respond to.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question. Thank you. I didn't even notice that when I was going through it, but thanks for bringing that up. Any other questions? Yeah. All right, too many screens open here. Before we let you go for the day, I just want to put a shameless plug in for a great conference, the URSA Conference, Utah Rural Schools Conference in Cedar City, July 11th, 12th, and 13th. Just because it says rural schools, please, you Wasatch Front schools and districts, come on down and join us. It's a fun conference. Lots of great sessions being offered this year. We have finished up the scheduling on Sched, so we're live, ready to go. You can go ahead and register for your sessions right now. We have 2 great keynotes. Anthony Kim, he's the founder and CEO of Education Elements, and Christian Moore, he's the Y-Try program. And Christian Moore has provided his book for all the attendees for his session, for his keynote. So come down and attend URSA and see some great keynotes and some great sessions provided by Jared Kovili and Clint Stevens. They are presenting at the conference along with myself and many other great educators. So.
Brandon's done a ton of work on the conference. It should be great. I did have a question that came in, and I didn't respond to everybody. I had a question about attending a conference. Was it just for this class, or was it a requirement for the whole endorsement? And it's endorsement wide. So, if you're planning on getting that endorsement during the whatever time you take to take those endorsement classes, one of those requirements is to attend a conference. So just sometime in the next 2 years or whenever you're doing it, you've got to attend one.
And there's many options for conferences. It's just a great one that's coming up in the next month. And besides the URSA conference, you can go ahead to Shakespeare Festival play that night, or there's a Renaissance Fair going on at the park in Cedar City. So spend the evenings out having fun and being cultured with Shakespeare and Renaissance things. So pretty fun time there in Cedar City. Happy Father's Day. This weekend is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all you dads and grandpas and wannabe dads, wannabe grandpas, and wives and mothers and children. Remember your dads, whoever they may be, this weekend.
Do doggy daddies count?
Doggy daddies do count for sure.
Sweet.
Yep, doggy daddies count. Should have a little something there for, for that. But
I'm sure they'll happily leave you a present in the backyard.
Every damn day,
like it or not, right?
like it or not.
Somebody have anything you want to talk about? Any questions, concerns, anything we can help you with? Please reach out to us anytime during the week. Yes.
I am having a hard time getting on the book. So where do I go to read the book? Every time I click on it, it just shows me where I can buy it.
Yes, we don't have a digital copy available for you, like a PDF copy of this for this class. So it's available through Overdrive, but there's limited number of copies.
Ours isn't yet. Patsy hasn't on the buy list, but she hasn't bought it yet. So
Okay.
kind of slow on this one on our side.
Yeah, so this one you may have to.
Well, I'm glad that I'm not feeling so
No, yeah, the link.
frustrated that I couldn't find it. I'm like, it's got to be here
No,
someplace. But
It's not. No, and that was our
Okay.
mistake. The last two classes we did have a PDF version, but this one we don't. So
okay, thank you.
But yeah, it's a great book. If you want to purchase it, it is outdated, as you'll see in this chapter with a couple of the website that it does direct
problem
you
with
to.
that tag, it changes so fast.
Yeah, technology. You buy it today and it's outdated tomorrow. Even the new things. But the content of the book's great, and what it teaches us is good. So recommend taking it and getting a school copy, having a copy in your for your faculty within your library or your office or something. So talk to your administrators, see if they'll purchase you a couple of them, and I'll put a plug in also to them. So any other questions from anybody? Clint, Jared, Carol, you here? Anything you guys want to add?
I don't think Carol is here. I'm good. Appreciate
I'm good.
everyone's efforts, and I know it's tough during summer when you're trying to get do all kinds of other things, but
Carol's in here. She's hiding as Clint Stevens.
I am
No.
here. Sorry, I'm
oh,
not
is
at
Clint
work.
Stevens in there twice? Oh yeah, okay. Need to change my password.
Thanks, everybody.
Well, thanks everybody. Have a
No,
great
yeah,
week.
appreciate it.
Please reach out to us if we can be of any help for anybody.
Have a good week. Let us know if
Thank
you need any
you.
help. Yep.